Hi everyone, it's Claire. Well, it's full moon, believe it or not, and it's a pink full moon, although it doesn't look pink. And it's on the 12th of April and the 13th of April actually for London and Great Britain. But also it's at 1:22 a.m. on the 13th, 8:22 p.m. on the 12th for New York time, and 5:22 p.m. for Los Angeles on the 12th, New York and Los Angeles on the 12th. And it's in Libra, which is about balance, and the scales represent Libra. And it's about kind of looking at what things are unbalanced still, and what chats do we need to have in life, and how will we hear the other side of opinions, and what kind of objective viewpoints are there. So Libra is very good about objectivity normally, and the sun is conjunct Chiron. So the sun is bringing light, and it kind of that Aries feisty spirit is dropped a little bit, and it softens with Chiron there as well. It will bring strength, and Chiron's the wounded healer planet, and it's all, light body, and it's really about what part of ourselves comes to light, and what we objectively going to see, and what we're healing and working through. We may still have some vulnerabilities to look at, but the reflection shines through. And Libra is ruled by the amazing planet of Venus, which actually stations direct after being retrograde, I think around on the 12th. And Pisces and the Saturn, North Node, Mercury are all, really important at the moment as well. Mercury is also direct now after being retrograde. I had the most horrendous Mercury retrograde this time, where my plane was cancelled with the Heathrow fire going to Los Angeles, and I had to go home. And then after 3 days, I could take another flight, but it was so inconvenient, along with many, many other people, of course. Venus was retrograde from the 1st of March and conjunct Saturn the rest of the month. So, and it would show really Venus is about partnerships, and the seriousness with Saturn as well involved, very much about the seriousness of partnerships. And I believe I've looked at quite a few astrologers, and quite a few are saying this might be the end of quite a few relationships where things are just not serious enough, or they're not going to be taken seriously enough. It's about value systems as well, rethinking values, or what exactly are our values and what are our creative abilities. And Saturn brings in a few restrictions, and really it's looking at possibly, endings, as I say, what's in and what's out kind of thing, and very much around this Libra full moon. So, and also really we're looking at cutbacks and changes. Saturn makes decisions, and it's kind of more cautious, it's slower and a bit more conservative, not like Pisces, which puts things off. Saturn gets things done, really. And the Libra moon would therefore be kind of a time to decide stuff. And it's conjunct Saturn, you see, which, is really showing up, right, what do we need to sort out here? Mars is still in Cancer, and it's been there quite some time, 3.5 months. So really I'm running through at the moment, by the way, Molly McCord, who's really a good astrologer. And she was talking about Mars feeling tired because it's been in Cancer, which it's not happy with. Mars is really about action and getting things done, and directly getting on with stuff. And Cancer isn't like that. It's much softer. It's more about family. It's more about the home. It's all, it's about emotion. So it's kind of a bit awkward. But Venus is currently ruling the moon, and we might feel more of what we need to sort out and kind of have more internal knowledge. Mars is square the sun, Chiron moon, causing tension. There may be some need to face things still as well. There's been a lot of people kind of doing a detox, I think, and detox from things that aren't good for them as well. And some of that might still be happening. Mars is meant to move on and be more mature and refine the self, and intuition and emotions might be strong. Cancer's very, where Mars is very intuitive and emotional. And all three retrograde planets, that was Venus, Mercury, and Mars, they were in water signs and then re-entered fire signs. So that kind of is pointing, Molly McCord thinks, to action orientation after some reflection. And Libra full moon is about detaching and being honest about what to let go, and about commitment, what stays and what goes, really. And then we're on to Pam Gregory. She talked about, because she's in the UK, she talked about Libra full moon on the 13th, but we'll feel it on the 12th, 13th and 14th. And it is really quite powerful because of having Venus. So Venus rules Libra, and, you know, it's kind of really quite powerful. You've got a fast, dynamic, packed April, she thinks. The eclipses as well sort of add to that powerful feeling, really. You had the Aries partial solar eclipse, and you had earthquakes happening in Myanmar, 6 earthquakes near Tonga, 2 mid-Atlantic ridge ones. And she talked about a huge coronal mass injection, which luckily wasn't Earth facing, but if it had been, it might have taken out grids. And so the sun is very active at the moment. And she thinks Venus and conjunct with Saturn is a good time to practice meditation, kind of about going inwards and about discipline. And also Venus in Pisces, very strong for it as well. And Sun and Moon opposite each other, of course, at the full moon period. And you've also got, so Sun, I think the Sun was in Aries. So Venus rules Libra, and in Pisces, just going direct after the retrograde, she talked about as well. And Libra and Pisces, very creative, good for art, poetry, quite a lot of self-giving from Libra and Pisces. So be a bit careful there, because that might affect us, and we need to be careful to step into our own sovereignty now, really. So and those signs, Pisces and Libra, do give a lot. So just be aware. Neptune will shift into Aries and be there 14 years. So that means really it's looking at stepping into our own power. Aries is the I am sign. It's very good with the individual and truth and being totally honest about who we are. So autonomy, inner power, and so on. And Libra ruled by Venus, what we want. Pisces, Neptune, great emphasis. She talked about like what's linked with Pisces and Neptune: water, deception, seas, toxicity, pollution, drugs, lies, blood, oil, immune system. It's all those things. And also she talked about a strong yang energy with the T-square, the moon, sun and Mars. And she talked about brute force, intimidating, warlike. And I mean, I don't want to comment on what's going on, but in the, financial markets, it's like, oh. So it's quite interesting. And polarization can happen. So be aware. And the sun tied to Chiron and Aries. Chiron turns into leadership because it's the wounded healer, and so there's knowledge about self-healing which can be shown to other people. Aries is the sister of Mars, linked with chaos, discord, justice, truth, fight to the end, and all voices heard. But she talks really a lot about the divine feminine. You've got Black Moon Lilith, 1 degree of Scorpio, and Hermia, 2 degrees of Scorpio. Black Moon Lilith, very wild, untamed, autonomous, uncompromising, and Hermia, very linked to nature and earth, and you possibly got heightened intuition, but that strong theme of divine feminine, strong energy, loving nature, interconnectedness, and Aries, the warrior, female, feminine energy. And also 2 or 3 of the astrologers mentioned the finger of God showing in the astrology chart. I get very lost with it, but finger of God's a very unusual and powerful astrological sign. It's kind of a skinny triangle, she called it, and a sextile with several planets involved. And you've got really moon in Libra, loving maternal harmony, law, Venus, North Node, collective destiny, new structures. And it's kind of like, you know, something God-given, I suppose, really. I actually found another astrology, Gregory Scott, who's quite good. He's British, actually. He talked about pursuing nice, sweet things around this Venus Libra full moon. And that it's a micro, smaller moon, actually. But it's a good time to fall in love and even start a new business. Those themes link with Libra and Venus. And 7th of April, Mercury went direct. 12th of April, Venus goes direct. Great news. Better to fall in love. I think I mentioned that in the last video, that, or one of the videos I've done, like middle of the month around now is good for that, and to start connecting, and relationships generally anyway, whereas we've been reflective whilst Venus was retrograde. And we can connect with whoever we want, really. 23 degrees of Libra, he talked about the moon. 2 + 3 = 5, which equals freedom. And moon square Mars in Cancer. Mars kind of more the masculine side, but in Cancer, feminine sign, a bit less happy. But and Neptune was in Pisces, and 30th of March it went to Aries. I really noticed my dreams were absolutely incredible at one point. And I actually ended up in the desert with my son and daughter-in-law, which was amazing, and had the most amazing dreams there. And that's by the by. And now is the time to really get what we want, really, or really sort of home in on what we want. And start maybe dating if we haven't dated before. Start a business if we haven't thought of a business. Think about that. It's a good time for it. And Jupiter, Gemini, crossing the threshold, try different things. Jupiter's a really lucky planet, and it can support our desires. And you've got the moon and Uranus. Anything is possible. Uranus is saying, if you haven't tried it before, maybe initiate something. And you've got, what else have we got? Making hopes, dreams reality, he referred to. And the full moon saying hopes and dreams can happen. Believe in them. If it's in our soul, it can be made real on this earth, on this planet. And he talked about a grand cross as well, where hopes and dreams, you know, are being highlighted. Try again, and you may be lucky, and think, I can try to do this. So, and also there's a grand trine in 2 elements, water and fire, which is quite unusual, but makes it fun to do new stuff. And he said on the actual full moon day that the cardinal signs are strong to do with change, and also Libra is an air sign, so ideas and new perspectives are good. And we're on to Tanya Gabrielle, who I always like. She's into numerology. She was the one that mentioned all the time. She's really good with those. She talked about Venus direct 40 minutes after the full moon, and lots of beauty, love, abundance. She thought that Venus going direct at the same time as the full moon was really powerful. Pleasure, love, abundance, themes, balance, relationships, romance, cooperation, social events, and putting yourself in others' shoes as well. And the 23 degrees of Libra and the moon will that it's a royal star of Leo number 23, and like that's kind of quite courageous, and call to action and heart center, like calling the heart to move forward and to be more present in relationships. So where we've been out of balance, think about being more in balance. And Libra brings us to listen to other points of views and accept what we're hearing and be less judgmental, really. And Venus is direct in Pisces and exalted there. She can express how she feels, beauty, artistry, listen or see those things which inspire you, and avoid harsh environments, she thought. And healing as well through love. She mentioned 23 being the royal star lion, I think I mentioned. And the finger of God she mentioned as well. Venus, Saturn in Pisces, the moon, Uranus in Taurus, with the moon, Sun opposite the moon and Chiron, 6 light bodies and 2 conjunctions, and Venus, Sun and Moon. So really powerful and imagination to manifest and create what we want. And Saturn helps with that, with kind of a solid support. And Uranus is really good with inspiring us out of the box. And Venus is great for uplifting and negotiations. So there you have it, a really nice social feeling. You've got the retrogrades nearly over, nearly all of them are over, very close to that. So have a really good full pink moon in Libra. Take care. Bye for now.